It's Saturday, May 4th, 2024. I want to thank every one of you today for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification down below, and just keep sharing these videos. We want to keep waking people up. We want to keep sounding the alarm. Share these videos with friends, family members. Share them on your social media. You have my permission to share these videos everywhere with everyone. I've got a lot I want to talk to all of you with today. Please feel free to comment on any of these topics, any of these articles. We are definitely heading into a very, very rough time in our history. I was watching some news last night, some very interesting data. I apologize, there is some wind today. Hopefully it's not too bad. But I was watching some news last night, and this data really is alarming. Credit card delinquencies, the highest credit card delinquencies are in these three states, Florida, California, and Texas. And the delinquencies are over 12%. That is absolutely mind-blowing. Florida, California, Texas. These are the three states that have had some of the biggest real estate booms in the last few years. And they now have the highest credit card delinquencies of over 12%. You know, when you're out and about and you wonder how people are making it, how they're paying to go shopping or out to dinner or put gas in the car, or how they're supporting this lifestyle, well, I think you know the answer to it. It's called credit cards. And people are falling behind. And this is going to have a huge impact at some point with the U.S. economy and the banking system, because these people are not going to be able to pay this money back. Think about how many people are just hanging on by a thread, using one of the 5, 10, or 15 credit cards they have. This is how people are surviving. And there's a lot of people out there that are just going to go down with the ship. They don't care. They're not going to give up their lifestyle. They're not going to worry about it. They're going to take this all the way to the end, till the bank shut off their credit cards. And then they'll worry about it. Then they'll deal with it at that point. At that point, they're going to be homeless. They're going to be in big trouble. Another article today, the 11 states where Americans face at least 50% capital gains tax rates if the president's plan passes. Do you live in one of them? Question mark. The president, as many of you know, is proposing a 44.6% capital gains tax. The current rate right now, the current capital gains tax rate is 25%. This will more than double in some states. So if you want to talk about a wealth transfer or the theft of wealth or the stealing of wealth, this is how they're doing it right here. This is absolutely obscene. This to me is criminal. And this isn't political, if you're right, left, like the president, don't like the president. Who out there believes it is okay for the system to take 50% of your money? They're already taxing, capital gains tax, already 25%. How many people think that that's way too much to begin with? I think that's criminal. Look at some of the numbers here for these states that are going to see capital gains over 50%. Idaho, 50.4%. Oregon, 54.5%. Nebraska, 50.4%. California, 57.9%. So when you take into account state and federal combined, these are the numbers you're getting. Kansas, 50.3%. Georgia, 50.09%. Iowa, 50.3%. Minnesota, 55.45%. Maine, 51.75%. New Jersey, 55.5%. New York, 55.5%. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think, first off, that it's fair that the capital gains tax is already 25%? Do you think it's even more fair that the president wants to hike it to 44.6%? And in some states, when you combine the state and federal, it's going to be over 50%. How many of you agree with this? How many of you think this is absolutely criminal and totally wrong? I think this is absolutely wrong. Another article today, more evidence screams the books are cooked. This, I believe, coming from the Daily Mail. You know, even CNBC reported something looked rather rigged when they were reporting the jobless numbers. 5 of the 6 months came back at 212,000 even. Think about that. 5 of the 6 months with jobless claims came back at 512,000. Now, Thursday, we got the jobless claims for last week, and they came in at 208. And I believe the week before that, it was 208. So we've had 5 out of 6 weeks at 212. And now I believe we've had our last 2 reports at 208. I think that so much of the data is so manipulated, and I do believe that the books are very cooked. We could talk about GDP, we can talk about unemployment, we could talk about the job numbers, we could talk about inflation. All of this is rigged. The books are cooked. You know, how long have we heard about all the jobs that are out there? Remember, there was 11 million jobs, and now there's 8.9 million jobs out there. And yet we hear about all these people who apply for these jobs. 100 applications. There's been many reports. I've read a lot of news reports where people have applied, they've applied 300, to 300 job offerings or openings. And these people who are applying 100, 200, 300 job applications out there have heard nothing. Some people have been applying for jobs for over a year and have heard nothing. So do these jobs even exist? Some people are asking. That 8.9 million, yes, there's a lot of part-time jobs out there, but how many of these jobs, of the nearly 9 million jobs that we hear that are available, how many of them are even real? How come people are applying to hundreds of these jobs and not hearing back? Another thing I'd like to bring up is every day we continue to read about the job losses. We look at the data. This company, that company, across the sector. Could be a warehouse, could be trucking, construction, tech, retail. Route 21 going to lay off 4,900 employees. They're closing, filing bankruptcy, 540 stores closing, nearly 5,000 employees losing their jobs within the next couple weeks. We hear about this every day, yet we're being told that the unemployment number is only 3.9%. And I just find that very, very hard to believe that when we're looking at all of these massive companies, Tesla, Google, Route 21, all these retailers, you name it, Apple, all these companies that have been laying off, Rivian, it just goes on and on and on. And yet unemployment is only 3.9%. We're told that businesses are booming. Yet if you go in to certain areas where you live, certain cities, you look at the amount of vacancies, you look at the amount of closures, vacant real estate, yet we're being told that businesses are doing well, households are doing well. How can households be doing well when households in America have over $20 trillion of debt? How can households be doing well in America when 80% of this country is living paycheck to paycheck? How is anything doing well when this country is nearing $35 trillion of debt? Yet, they're telling us that everything's doing well. It sounds to me more and more like the books are definitely cooked, ladies and gentlemen. Here's another one today. U.S. carriers illegally hiring Mexican drivers to haul loads, sources say. This coming from freightwaves.com. More trucking companies in the U.S. are employing Mexican B1 visa drivers to undercut rates while paying Mexican drivers less than U.S. truck drivers. Let me know your thoughts on this. I think this should be totally illegal. I think it should be banned. I think it's completely immoral. You're bringing in foreign workers to work cheaper and laying off basically American workers because they want more money and have a higher standard. So you're going to import cheap labor while Americans don't get the jobs, don't get the work. How many people think that this is okay? I think that this is completely wrong. And yet, if they're paying drivers less, how come we're not seeing the discount on the shelves? So, obviously some of these companies are so greedy that they're willing to import cheap labor and keep the profits for themselves. They're not even passing it on to you and I. And at the same time, they're getting rid of American workers. This to me is absolutely disgusting and immoral. Another article coming from The Hedge. Bitcoin versus gold. Who won the zero hedge debate? I didn't see this debate. I'm going to probably watch it tonight. But I saw in the article, Peter Schiff said this: Bitcoin is no more digital gold than if I create an image of a hamburger on a computer screen. That's not digital food, he says. So I think that's a great point. And no matter who you think or who you thought won the debate last night, and I haven't seen the debate, I will check it out. One thing I think we can all agree on, no matter what side you're on the Bitcoin side, the gold, both sides, whatever the case may be, again, whoever you thought won or didn't win this debate, at the end of the day, all of us better be preparing for the death of the US dollar. I'm doing it by buying more gold. I own silver, but I've been buying gold for the last 2 years predominantly gold for the last 2 years. And as long as central banks are stockpiling it, as long as you're watching the BRICS nations stockpiling it, I'm going to continue to do the same thing. Not that you don't need dollars. You need dollars till you don't, but you better be protecting yourself from a dollar collapse. Peter Schiff is exactly right. And again, no matter what side of this you're on, of the coin that you're on, one thing I think 99% of the people watching this video today is you better be preparing. That 99% of you agree with me is that we better all be preparing for the death of the US dollar. You may be doing that through Bitcoin. I'm doing it through gold. Nobody has a crystal ball here, but I feel much safer with gold, especially knowing that if the electricity goes down, the internet goes down, the power goes down, whatever, I can still do transactions with gold. Gold has a 5,000-year history. A farmer will trade food for gold. He's not going to do it for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is absolutely defenseless against a power outage. It is worthless if there is no power. So that is my opinion on it. That's why I'm continuing to stack gold. Gold is recognizable anywhere in the entire world. And as I said, central banks, the BRICS nations buying it. I'm going to continue buying it. Many people still ask me what's a good place to buy from. Go to my link down below, SD Bullion. If you need to order some gold or silver, I've been dealing with them for over 6.5 years. I think they're the best company to buy precious metals from. I've never had an issue with them. They're great people. They know what's going on. They're awake. They're awake to what's happening in the world and the importance of owning this stuff. So if you need a reliable, reputable, fantastic company to buy from, go to my link down below, SD Bullion. And again, buy from whoever you want to buy from. If you want to buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. You want to buy baseball cards, buy baseball cards. You want to buy art, buy whatever your heart desires. But if you need metals, go to SD Bullion. Now, shifting gears here a little bit. There was an article here, and this has been going all over the internet the past few days. Christy Noem has a new explanation for why she basically deleted her dog's life. And if you haven't read about this, you can Google it. She had a dog, and it's in her book, and now this is making a lot of news, a big splash here, because there was a lot of talk that she might be the next VP. I don't see her ever being the VP. I didn't see her being the VP. I don't know where that's even coming from. But if she thought she even had a chance of being the VP of this country, it is completely over for her, because just like many of you and myself, we love our animals. We especially dogs. And so basically in her book, she talks about this vicious dog she owned, and it killed her friend's chickens, and this dog was vicious and violent, needed to be put down. So they had to take this dog, or she took this dog out to the to the pit, and deleted this dog's life in the gravel pit. And I think about this, and I'm thinking, okay, her dog killed some chickens. I eat chickens all the time. Many of you probably eat chickens. My good friend Aaron, Texas Silver, check out his channel. He's going to be putting up some more videos. If you didn't check out his video from, I think it was yesterday, talking about the Bill Holter situation at dinner, check it out, Texas Silver. But Aaron, when I go to Texas, I stay at one of his homes. He always has his dog, and he's got a big pit bull. She's absolutely adorable. She's killed a lot of his chickens on his ranch, and she's eaten them. Does that make her a violent, vicious dog? Not to me. Usually when I'm there, she's laying in bed with me. She's licking my face. I would trust anybody in my family with her. I would have no issue with it. She likes to eat chickens. Does that make her a violent, vicious dog? I don't think so. She likes to eat chicken like I do. Does that make me, a vicious person because I eat chickens? So Christy Noem, though, thinks that that's really violent and vicious because her dog ate her friend's chickens, and so she had to take the dog out to the gravel pit and delete it. So she has barred any chance of ever becoming VP. I don't think she's even qualified for that. So don't really care for her. So goodbye to Christy Noem and the gravel pit. But anybody that loves dogs out there, this is not the way to handle it. Okay, if your dog ate some chickens, maybe it has some issues. Do you just delete its life, or maybe you just put it in an environment where it has a better chance of surviving and thriving other than a gravel pit. So just don't agree with that. But comment down below. What do you think about that? Is she done? Did she even have a chance? What do you think about, what she did? I think it's completely wrong. Here's another one today from The Hedge. Long Beach hotel housing homeless sparks TB outbreak as health emergency declared. The city has confirmed 14 cases of TB, and it says another 170 people were likely exposed. They are not disclosing the name of the hotel. Question is, why not? Don't people have a right to know the name of the hotel where there's been a TB outbreak? I think in the interest of the public and traveler safety, because a lot of people come to Long Beach, California, tourists, people travel, they stay at hotels. Don't you think that people have the right to know? Don't you think the public have the right, especially the tourists, the people that travel to California, have a right to know what's going on in their hotel? And don't you think we all should know who's staying in the hotel? Why can they not name the hotel? And who is staying at the hotel? And who is being housed maybe in the hotel? This hotel with no name. Very interesting. Very concerning. But when you take into account, the amount of homeless that we have here in California, and take into the amount of people that we're taking in from all over the world right here, combining homeless and people from all over the world that we have no idea who they are, what their medical conditions are, very, very dangerous. This is how bad things break out when you have so much filth and people who are not checked, and people living on the streets, living with rats. A couple years ago, we had a typhus outbreak. Now we have a TB outbreak. And they won't even tell us the name of the hotel. They won't tell us who's staying there, who's being housed there, what's going on. I think we all should know for our own safety. Now, another article. This is just mind-blowing. More than 20 newcomers, people from other parts of the world, land up at Balboa Peninsula, Newport Beach, on a boat and pull up to a pier and just run off this boat onto this dock, this pier, and they run into this neighborhood. And now, if you haven't seen this video, I highly recommend that you Google this. You could just Google Newport Beach migrants, Balboa Peninsula migrants. Just Google it. More than 20 people on this boat. Very nice boat, by the way. Where did this boat come from? Who owned this boat? Was it stolen? Did somebody buy it? Where did the very nice boat? This has happened before. We just saw this happen in Carlsbad, California, down in San Diego. It's happened in Laguna Beach in Orange County, and now the latest one, Newport Beach. And this took place. Some people are saying that it took place Thursday. It did not take place on Thursday. It took place April 20th. It was not reported until Thursday. It took place April 20th, not Thursday, but it took place, and we need to talk about it. Now, if you watch this video, it's absolutely alarming. These people, from whoever they are, from wherever they're from whatever their intentions are, this is extremely dangerous, first off, because we don't know who these people are, what their intentions are, where they're from. This is going to land up one day being very, very bad, because the wrong group of people are going to get off one of these boats and they're going to do some very, very nefarious things. But what happened was the boat pulls up to this dock, these people run off, and this neighborhood, you're looking at $4, $5, $6, $7 million homes in this neighborhood. The dock is literally across the street from these mansions, and these people are running through the streets, down the sidewalks, in front of these homes. Think about if you were living in a $5 million house in Newport, and right across the street a boat pulls up with people from God knows where, doing God knows what, wanted for God knows what, gonna do God knows what here, has God knows what. I mean, just think about any of this. Say your 7-year-old kid is out front in the yard playing with his Legos or his dog or whatever, and you have these people running past your house, between your house, in front of your house, feet away from your kids, 10 feet from your door. I mean, this is scary. And I always thought that people are spending $5 million to get away from this kind of stuff, and now it's pulling up right in front of their homes. And if you live in Newport Beach, if you live in Carlsbad, if you live in Laguna Beach, comment down below. Please let me know your thoughts on this, because you're watching this now happen almost on a weekly basis, where boats are pulling up at the beach, at the docks, and people are just running out of these boats through your neighborhoods. How do you feel about this? Especially the taxes that you pay in the state of California. You know, you're paying $40, $50, $60, $70,000 in property tax, and this is what you have. I mean, I would not feel too safe. We have yet to see, you know, a bunch of newcomers dropped off on the golf course here, running through here. But you know, I know that they're around somewhere. But I couldn't imagine, you know, a helicopter or a hot air balloon landing, you know, right, you know, 20 feet on the course here, and you know, 20, 30 people jumping out and then just scattering through the neighborhood. I mean, that is unbelievable. That is frightening, because we have no idea who these people are. And this is one day, this is going to end really, really bad, because there's going to be a group of people with very, very nefarious goals, intentions, getting off one of these boats, and they're going to do something. And the people in these neighborhoods or on these beaches, they have no chance whatsoever. They're going to be innocent victims. But this continues to be allowed, and I cannot believe it. But it's absolutely stunning to watch these people just get off of a boat and run through this multi-million-dollar neighborhood, scattering through the streets. Unbelievable. I will finish with this last article, New York Post. They found the three gentlemen last week that had vanished in Mexico. And another frightening story, three gentlemen, two from Australia, one from the U.S., enjoying a surfing vacation in Ensenada. Ensenada, 80 miles from downtown San Diego. 80 miles from San Diego. They found their truck. It was torched. They found the three gentlemen deceased in a well on a ranch. The owner of the ranch also found deceased on the bottom of this well. This well on this beautiful property, literally 200 yards from the ocean. And that's where the three gentlemen and the ranch owner were found. And I bring this up because when we had spent some time with Bill Holter last summer, he was talking, you know, he lived in Costa Rica for a while, and he was talking about, you know, we asked him a question about, you know, Americans fleeing America because they think it's going to be safer in other places. And Bill said, not true. And I totally agree with what Bill Holter said. He says, you know, if you're an American living in a foreign country, especially, you know, if you're maybe in South America, Central America, they're going to look at you as an ATM. If they think you have money, they're going to come for you. But I look at it also, and Bill agreed to this, that America is going to be blamed for a lot of the global depression, the global inflation. We weaponized the U.S. dollar, the military bases that we've built, the wars we've started, the millions of people who've lost their lives because of these wars, our authority on the world, our financial system, our manipulation of the dollar. We can just seize money like we did with Russia. And the world's watching this, the weaponization of the dollar, and how we've literally have just flexed our weight and our power around the world, that if you don't do what we say, we're not going to let you spend dollars. We're not going to let you use the financial system. We're not going to allow you to buy oil. We're not going to allow you to buy food, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, the world's getting sick and tired of it. And people just think that they're going to go somewhere and they're going to be okay and they're going to be safe. Bill agreed, and Bill said the same thing, that that Americans are going to be blamed for this mess, because you're going to see a global depression take place, and America is really going to be the one to blame for it. And if you think you're going to be liked by most of the world sitting in a foreign country, good luck with that. If they think you have money, you're probably going to be a victim. Most of the world, wherever you go, is going to blame you, your country, America, for the devastation, the global devastation that has taken place, the wars, everything. It's going to blame you. So I don't think you're going to be too liked. And a lot of people just think that they're going to be able to escape with all their money into another country. And if you can get your money out of the country, think about these other countries. You think that they're not going to steal your money. You think that those banks aren't going to do bail-ins. You think that those banks are not going to take your money. If you can even get your money out of America, how safe is your money really in other countries? You think that other countries and the banking system isn't going to steal your money. So first, I would think about your safety as an American, because most countries are not and do not like Americans. Secondly, the banking system is the banking system. They will steal your money. And you're not going to be able to go, oh, the FDIC is insuring my money. You're in another country. You may be in a third world country. Good luck with that. They could take your property. They could take your house. in another country. So a lot of people think that, you know, the grass will be greener somewhere else. It's going to get bad here, no doubt about it. But if you think you're going to escape how bad it is here and go somewhere else and it's going to be sunshine, rainbows, and puffy white clouds, I think you're sadly mistaken. I think that you will be a target. I think you will not be liked. And I think that in some of these countries, the banking system may be even more corrupt than it is here. And your money will be very, very vulnerable, and you will probably lose everything, including your properties. That's how powerful these other countries, these governments are in other countries. They can just take your house. They could do it here too. But we know throughout history, especially South and Central America, banks that were just taken by the government, homes that were taken, land was taken, and it's happened all over the world. So you will see bail-ins, you will see governments just seize properties, because when the whole system breaks, the government, the banks, they're going to take whatever they can take. And at least I think here you have at least maybe a little bit better chance of surviving that. In other countries, as an American who they don't like, they'll be more than happy to seize your property, your bank accounts, and your assets. My opinion. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. I'm going to leave it there today. It looks like, man, the weather's really crazy. I don't know if we have a storm coming in or whatever, but let me know your thoughts. Again, thank you so much for joining me today. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let me know your thoughts. Let me know what's happening in your areas. Are you seeing stores closing, stores opening? What's happening with your friends? Anybody you know losing jobs? Anybody losing their homes? Give us a barometer of what you're seeing in your local economies. Love to hear that. I know that thousands of people watching this video tonight would love to hear it too. So I want to thank everybody for the comments. It means a lot because of those comments, a lot of people are waking up and taking action. God bless every one of you. Stay safe. My heart goes out to those 3 gentlemen in the rancho who lost their lives. You've got to be really, really careful. It is getting really, really bad out there. You can't not even go to Ensenadas. You can't go to Baja California and be safe and go on a surfing trip and you know, do some content creation and post videos, because they don't know if it was organized crime or if it was just random. They have 3 suspects, by the way, that they have in custody right now. They don't know if they're involved in organized crime. But you know, when you start looking at how dangerous it is here, let alone how dangerous it is in some other countries, be careful, ladies and gentlemen. Be careful. It's going to get much, much worse. God bless every one of you. Stay safe. As always, I look forward to speaking with each and every one of you.